should be live. And yeah, we are back for the GT Sport League here. Very sorry for the delayed start here. We've got 6 minutes left of qualifying here for the GT Sport League, and I'm joined by Isaac Smart once again for the commentary of this league.
What's good, guys?
And yeah, it's going to be an interesting one here. We've currently got iFin on pole position and Bon Evil in second. Unfortunate for Dutchy so far. He's not set a lap, has he, Isaac?
Dutchy has not set a lap just yet, but on my screen, bro, Tiger, Tim Gren, Toussaint.
Oh, and Dutchy's sorry
to
interrupt. Dutchy just got very rearward on going through the last sector there in the last couple of corners, and not going to help his lap out there. And
but it says Dutchy's in 7th. I think your screen may be glitch. Or
yeah, it must be.
Go into live timing and see what the lap times are. Because Tiger's leading the way at the moment.
It still says
the 126.
It must be just that when I joined later, the timings have not quite come through for me, because it's saying that iFin's currently on pole position for himself. Hello to Velocity, Castengle and Gavra, obviously in the chat. Welcome to everyone. Hopefully looking forward to what should be a very good race here around Sardegna. Be a beautiful track as they cut through
the corners.
The valley.
The corners are really, really fast. I can imagine this track making for some brilliant racing. Loads of side-by-side battling that will be going on. It's probably going to be quite a hectic race start, I imagine, as well. But anyway, let's quickly go to the championship and see who is currently leading the way.
It's Dutchy,
so
surely, isn't it? It's got to be
yeah,
Dutchy
with a massive advantage over the BCMR team at the moment. Believe it's about 40 points separating Dutchy to Toussaint. So Toussaint wants to finish first in the constructors. He's going to have to put in a shift over the next few laps, few races. So.
Yeah, and we've got a replacement driver in for today of Webster.
Oh yeah, we do.
And he's going to be replacing, I believe it's Tobster, is it? I believe it's Tobster, because I don't think we have him in the lobby. He would have been Dutchy's teammate. Currently in the teammate.
Dan Schneider there, nearly losing the car, just rode the curb way too much, got into the gravel trap a bit, and as a result of that, the rear end just completely stepped out from him. Lucky to keep the car out the wall there.
Yeah, and a bit rearward from Dan Schneider. Had a great race last weekend. I think, not weekend, sorry, last Friday. I think he scored his first. I think he did. I can't exactly remember where he was. I'm going to have a look at the league now, but he had a great race weekend, scoring his best points. Yeah, got a P3 there, scored his most points, and that actually moved him up to P8 in the championship. And Toussaint is the closest one to Dutchy at the moment. He's currently P2 on my timing screens, but I don't know, I think someone just went off there. I think that was Natty going off, having a huge off. Just coming around the last corner there, right next to his teammate Bon Evil as he dives it into the pit lane. And who is it saying that on your screen that's pole position? For me, it's saying that it's Tim Gren.
Yeah, pole position on my screen is Tiger with a 1:37.0. That doesn't sound right. Wait, no, his best lap story is a 1:18 flat.
Is it? It says on my screen 1:22.5 is Tiger's best time so far.
One
and
of our,
hello to Jutsy Kev as well.
Timings is bugged.
Or Kevin Jutsy.
Gotta be.
And also Pierrick in the chat. Regular around here is Pierrick in the Super League. And got some good points yesterday, I think, in the Super League. Watched part of that race.
I think I saw Pierrick's overtake. Was that on France? Where he faked it to the left and then switched it to the right.
Oh, and then Dutchy and iFin have had a huge crash. Wow!
Massive contact as iFin and Dutchy completely take each other out, both in the wall as a result of that.
Yeah.
A little bit of chaos for practice. Hopefully a sign of things to come, because we love a bit of contact in the races.
We do, but with only a minute and 20 to go, that's meaning that they might not be able to set
Pretty
another lap
harmful
here.
to them.
And especially for Dutchy, with being the championship leader, I mean, he does like a good recovery race. I think he didn't qualify on pole position last week, but he still managed to
and
win
that is
the race.
our new driver, Websons. Got caught up in bad traffic with Dan Schneider there, and had to take to the grass and just hit into the wall as a result of it.
And he's backed off his lap there as Websons. He's saying that he's P9 on my screen. But I think my timings are slightly different to yours, as we've got Bonnie.
Horrible damage for Dutchy, engine-wise, and on his front bumper there. Dutchy definitely going to have to come into the pits, but like you said, Ben, not enough time to set another lap, so Dutchy on my screen starting from P7, so like he's going to have to make his way through the field if that is true that he is starting P7. I don't know where he says he's starting on your screen.
And he does have a decent cushion at the top of the championship, but still not going to be great from there. As it's saying on my screen that Daniel Gardenzi's in P4. Where is he on your screen?
P8. That
would have been a great lap for him.
All iFin to Dutchy in the chat. So sorry. So clearly, the mistake was iFin's. But yeah, that was a really bad crash for qualifying.
Yeah, definitely. And hello to Black Country Mush in the chat. Now, I have a question for Black Country Mush, and it's where do you live? And I know that sounds quite personal, but mush is something that I've recently moved to Yorkshire, and a lot of people say it around here in that way. So I'm wondering if you're from Yorkshire. So if you'd let me know in the chat, I'm just curious about it. If not, then you don't have to tell me where you live. That'd be a bit weird. But anyway, Bon Evil setting a new faster time of 1:18.1, and also Oriole setting a good lap there, as well as Cryptech sets a 1:19.1. A few people just finishing off their laps here as we get ready to go racing. It's saying that Bon Evil is on pole position, but I don't believe that that's true. I don't think Bon Evil is on pole for.
It says second on mine.
Yeah. Anyway, good lap from Bon Evil there. She should get 1:18.1. Very promising lap there for her. So could be a turn of events, as last time she actually crashed out, hitting the wall on the Death Chicane and taking herself out the race. Really bad weekend for the Forget Me Not Racing team. And they'll definitely be wanting to have a better weekend here, as Natty's actually set a 1:18.2, so it's a good lap from him there. And looking more promising there.
The gap to Timgren and I think it was Natty, was only a thousandth or a second there, so very close between those two. But anyway, we are about to get underway
we are
for this race.
So it's Tiger who's actually managed to grab pole position. A very, very decent lap from him there. Bon Evil taking P3 with a Timgren in P3, and Natty in P4. Toussaint taking P5. Dan Schneider with his best qualifying, I believe, there in P6. Holland Campion in 7th, iFin 8th. Dutchy with a disappointing 9th.
That is the lights out and away we go. And Tiger gets away to a really brilliant start, but followed very closely behind by Timgren, who's making a move on Bon Evil. And this is what happens as they go down to the braking zone. It may nearly go 4 wide.
Looks like Timgren might be looking for the move.
Timgren pulls out to the side. Bon Evil looking for the move on her teammate, looking for the long way round there. As Holland Campion gets past Cryptech, I believe. But Cryptech going the long way round as well, fighting him back against the curb.
Yeah.
There's contact between him and Oriole as he swerves dangerously to the right, and Oriole gets on the grass.
Sorry, Dan Schneider's had a bad start, dropping down to P8, and it's gone 3 wide there. It's still very close between all of them. It's almost 4 wide as iFin's trying to get his nose in as well. Cryptech makes a little bit of contact with Dan Schneider as they go wheel to wheel through the first sector, and Dutchy is looking to make up positions as he's trying to go down the inside of Cryptech, and looks like he's going to potentially make that move. He's trying to keep his foot in. It's going to switch to the inside.
Bon Evil gets past Natty, forcing him onto the curb a little bit there, but that was there's clearly no team orders going on at BCMR at the moment, but Bon Evil puts herself up into 3rd, so a really good start for her, but defending by the likes of Natty behind, really creeping up on her at the moment at the start to this race.
And Casteng was saying that Dutchy is low for qualifying. He definitely is, but he's already started to make up positions, and we can still see that Dutchy is going to be very, very quick in this race, and should be able to make his way through the field.
There's no doubt about that Dutchy can make his way through the field.
Definitely,
but anyway, that's Bonnie Evil looking for the first place. That was a double overtake by her, but can't get past Tiger. Lacks the traction as a Timgren fights him back, and Natty's capitalising on all of this. He's saying thank you very much, Bonnie, for ruining Timgren's line through there. But Timgren's coming under pressure from Toussaint as Toussaint puts himself up into 4th, and now Holland Campion also looking to get involved right on the back of Natty as well, as Toussaint stays in 4th place. Toussaint really capitalising on that.
There. I think he was trying to send it round the outside.
And there was no love lost between those two as Holland Campion puts him onto the curb, and he nearly lost the car there, put Dutchy through into 7th.
Yeah, and Dan Schneider making up for his poor start there and trying to make up a few positions. And Dutchy now moves up into P7.
Oh, and Ivan losing the car, sorry, there, he's swerving all over the place as he falls down just behind the replacement driver of Webster's. Oh, and he nearly lost the car again, so...
Yeah, he did there, and it's not great for him there. I'm not sure I've got all of the... there we go, we've got all the settings on now. I couldn't quite see all of the tyre strategies that they'll be on as Webster's.
And Ivan are going...
he was looking for the move there. But backs out of that one for now, does Webson's.
When Oriole pulls out to the outside line of Cryptek, but couldn't find a way past as Cryptek closed the door there, but Daniel Gardenti also looking to get involved as well. So that was really good defending by Oriole there, keeping Daniel behind.
And it's very close between kind of top all the way down to kind of, I think, it's really bad camera angle to see how far down, but all the way down to kind of P8 there is a massive train, and then it's kind of dropped back as Cryptek has not managed to stay with that train, as Slipstream is such a massive thing on this game, and struggling to keep with this top pack, but very close between them all, and honestly can't tell who is going to come out on top of this group, as Timgren is staying very close to Tiger, and so is Bon Evil to the rear end of Timgren's Mercedes there.
We didn't see Bonnie get past Toussaint, unfortunately. I believe we missed that move. But,
Bonnie went a little bit wide there.
Yeah, she did, didn't she? She's lost some time, and it's really compromised her exit now, as Toussaint pulls out for the inside line and gets past her before the braking zone, so that wasn't very ideal for Bonnie Evil, riding the grass a little bit there, and just cost her P3 for the time being, so she needs to get right onto the back of Toussaint if she wants to claim that position back.
But speaking of ideal, we've now got the two BCMR brothers, P1 and P3. So for the team that are looking to retain their title from last season, it's going to be a great points finish if they can hold this down for now. Look, Toussaint's looking very, very quick in his BMW. He's now managed to gain right up behind the Timgren and actually drop Bon Evil a little bit there and create a little bit of
says a yellow flag. As just checking if anyone's
there is. Sorry,
it's Dutchy, isn't it?
Dutchy,
Dutchy, the championship leader, as he falls down into 12th place. So what a horrible start he's having to this race, swerving a little bit as well. Maybe his tyres are a bit cold, I can't tell, but oh my, what a change of events for his race. That is not what he wanted to do.
He's got damage on the rear
as well. I didn't even see that, but that's
got to be a commentator's curse, because I was just saying, like, I'm sure Dutchy will make his way through the field, and now he's down in P12 with damage. So
he's got a mountain to climb. Sorry to interrupt you there, but that's Oriole on his teammate Daniel Gardenti looking for the move into 9th place, and he's got his nose ever so slightly ahead, but this is so close here, as Daniel Gardenti's way later on the brakes, and Oriole way more confident on those brakes than Oriole was into that braking zone there.
And the teammates there
keeps P9, yeah.
Teammates fighting very close there towards the rear of the grid, and looking more towards...
Wait, hang on, did Toussaint get past the Timgren?
Yeah, we missed that. Toussaint has made his way up to
the field, don't we?
P2, yeah, but so many battles going on around the track. It's a bit like our Premier Series race the other day, where there were just so many battles going on that they missed a bunch of our overtakes. But you know, what can you do? There's so much battles going on in these type of leagues, and it's so close. But look at Timgren and how close he is to the back of Toussaint now, and he might be looking for the move, but stays behind him for the time being. And now Dan Schneider's absolutely dropped Cryptek. There's a huge gap between those guys, but still very close between the top 7 there. And Dan Schneider actually managing to keep with them as Holland Campion goes slightly wide there. But much better weekend so far for the Forget Me Not Racing, up in P4 and P5. So scoring some good points there. At the moment, they're currently in, if I just have a quick look at P5 in the championship, it's very close between those guys.
Oh, it's Toussaint takes first. Toussaint goes up into the lead of the race, getting past his teammates. So what a brilliant race BCMR have gotten off to. If they can bring this home, P1 and P2, they can bring an absolute ton of points for their team and maybe put themselves back into contention for the championship, in the Drivers' Championship as well. And yeah, I didn't quite catch that move, but to be making a move on the likes of Tiger, it would have had to have been a really creative one. So credit to Toussaint there, as a Timgren is really sneaking up behind Tiger there. It's really staying in his slipstream, making the most of it, and I'll probably see a nice move from him any time now, really. But back to you, Ben.
Yeah, but so it was Pierre said in the chat they've got.
Oh, and they're 4 wide on there. They're actually 4 wide there, as Ifin gets past all of them. Just behind
Dutchy as well.
Dutchy's obviously got past all of them as well. But they were 4 wide there. Took me completely by surprise. I just saw this. They're battling very hard.
Dutchy goes into the pits very early. So he's obviously thinking that damage. Yeah, it must be costing him.
But Cryptek has bad damage as well. Cryptek is in the pits with loads of damage.
Yeah, huge damage. So there must have been contact there, and so does Oriole. Oriole also has contact. So we've obviously missed a huge crash there. But Jetsy and
Ifin, literally 4 wide for a second there.
Yeah, Jetsy and Ifin managed to keep their nose clean, but this is so bad for the Coca-Cola Racing. They are running the KFC logo, so it does have the Coca-Cola logo on it as well. But
as Jetsy and Oriole are battling really hard at the moment. Sorry to interrupt you there, but this is for P10. As Jetsy defends very nicely from the likes of Oriole behind there. So Jetsy keeps P10, but the question is how long can he keep that forwards? Oriole switches, looking for the inside line, but lacks the traction. Looks for a really stupid move there, that's why he backed out of it. Could have ended in a spin for him, but Jetsy defending too hard for Oriole to get past on this occasion.
Yeah, and so the Forget Me Not Racing team. Oh, that's very close between the two. I saw someone going wide there. I think it might have been Dan Schneider running a little bit wide. But the Coca-Cola Racing is so close between Forget Me Not Racing and Coca-Cola Racing. But with Cryptek down in, where is Cryptek? Down in P14, and Ifin, who has been so strong all season, down in P9 at the moment. They're not looking like they're going to score a lot of points, and Natty is currently going wheel to wheel with Holland Campion, and he looks like he's made the move. I think Holland might have been looking for the move, because I think Natty was already in P5, but they're going wheel to wheel there for a little bit of the track, as Dan Schneider's just trying to stay with them, having a great race so far, and it's staying pretty much the same at the front of the field.
What happened to Bonnie there? Bonnie falling down into 4th.
Just not being able to stay close with them. The problem is, once you kind of get out of the second slipstream, then you can struggle a lot with pace, because you just lose so much time.
Oh, and that's Natty going really slowly there, getting that getting in that corner really wrong there.
And that's going to put him under pressure, isn't it?
A bunch of time to his teammate. He's 2 seconds behind now, so that error behind the wheel just really cost him, and has forced him back into the likes of Holland Campion and Dan Schneider. So he needs to pick up the pace if he's not trying to succumb to the pressure behind of these guys. Yeah, and someone's on the grass. There's Jetsy in P11, just overshooting that chicane really badly and just had to ride the grass. He's also lost a bunch of time to Oriole ahead, who decides to pit, as well as Daniel Gardenza.
Jetsi not quite having as good of a race as his teammate is, as he's managed to get past Natty as they go wheel to wheel through the first sector, and it's still going to be wheel to wheel as they take the next corner, as Dan Schneider trying to hang it around the outside, but Natty going to keep the inside line, gets a little bit of traction on the rear, but Dan Schneider going to keep it down the inside, and he's having a great race here as it's still going wheel to wheel through there, but Dan Schneider just managed to keep that position there and takes P5 in the race. So really good racing from those two there, very respectful, but Natty is going to try and come back at him here round the outside, going to try the switchback, but that's going to actually allow Holland Campion, but Dan Schneider's got all sorts of wrong through that corner, and that's allowed Holland, look, if I can actually get my words right, Holland Campion to go through there, and Natty has retaken P5, but they've lost so much time to Bon Evil there, Isaac.
Ooh,
and that was just a great battle there.
Sorry, I completely missed that. What I heard was that Bon Evil got past Natty, is it?
No, it was Natty, Holland Campion, and Dan Schneider having a massive scrap, and now Holland Campion
just scrapping
is
away,
looking
isn't
for
it? It's
the
anyone's game for P5. Sorry, as Dan Schneider looks to go the long way around. What a brilliant move this could be if he can hold it, but gets on the gravel. But can he switch it back and has the better line into that corner? What a brilliant move by Dan Schneider. That would be my top overtake of the race that I've seen so far there. He just saw an opening, stuck his nose in there, made it work for him. Dan Schneider, brilliant overtake by him for 6th there, I must say.
He's looking so confident on the brake. As they went through turn 1, they're in the same car, and Dan Schneider just looked like he had another level on the brake. He looked insane, but the Aston Martin is very, very quick in a straight line. As you can see here, Dan Schneider getting a great run on Natty and actually pulls out to try and go for the move, but decides to back out of it. Natty struggling with traction through some of these corners in the middle sector, but Pierre's saying that the tyres is a big problem around here, and you can see Natty's front tyres are just ruined. His front right is actually going off, so I didn't actually notice that, so thank you for saying that. But as I'm saying that, Dan Schneider is getting very close, and he's actually made the move on Natty. I wasn't even paying attention to that as I was looking at the tyres, but these guys are going to have to start thinking about coming into the pits, and as I say that, Natty jumps into the pits off of his soft tyres, and that allows Ifen to go through as well. But yeah, great battle through those guys, so I hope to see more of that throughout the rest of the race, staying very close between the top few guys here, as the BCMR brothers still leading the way here. They're capitalising on the fact that Dutchy's not having a great race, aren't they, here? Tim Gren also having another good race as well down in P3. There's now opened up a little bit of a gap, unfortunately, so not too much close racing at the top. Tiger managing to stay with his teammate, as Toussaint, did we see Toussaint take the lead of the race, or am I tripping?
Toussaint just absolutely pulling one out the bag and just getting these overtakes really stealthily at the moment, isn't he? Just somehow stuck his car all the way up into first. So what a brilliant race Toussaint is having. Sorry for missing these overtakes.
Yeah, I know. I think
either way, congrats at the moment if you can bring this one home.
I think it's just reversed Uno'd, because in the last race, I'm pretty sure in our Premier race...
Sorry, Dan Schneider absolutely sending one down the inside of Holland Campion there for P5, but just... It comes into the pit, so he made that move on Holland Campion for nothing, just held Holland Campion up a bit. I'm not sure he'd be too happy about that one, especially as he was coming into the pit, so was that even worth putting the move there? Probably costing themselves both a bit of time. But Holland Campion has Ifen behind, but Ifen on quite worn tyres. I must say, probably looking at coming into the pit soon. Yeah, definitely looking at a pit stop soon. But Webson, sorry, the plate replacement driver, having a decent race so far. Like, literally stepping in for this one race already, finds himself P6. So let's see what he can do for the rest of the race plan.
And Webson's on the medium tyres as well, so he's going to be able to go a lot longer in the race. Hello to Rick Holt as well in the chat, and Pierre's saying that Toussaint's tyre management is just insane. And to be fair, if you look at the tyres of Tiger compared to Toussaint and like a Tim Gren, Toussaint is doing an absolutely amazing job of keeping those tyres good, but it's not going to make too much of a difference because they're all on about the same amount of fuel. But a Timgren and Holland Campion are going to have to come into the pits fairly soon, as they're going to start to struggle with the fuel, and Holland Campion does indeed make his pit stop now, but Ifin deciding to stay out and currently in P4, but he will drop down obviously once everyone else starts to make their pit stops. Dutchy's made his way back up to P7 for now, so could still be looking for a good result here. Dutchy, even with that contact, he's just so quick on this game that he's able to still keep going and make all of these overtakes back up.
Dutchy is an absolute unstoppable force in this game. This guy can be right at the back in P20, somehow find himself leading the race lap 1. Go for it.
Daniel Gardenzi and Bon Evil going wheel to wheel, but Bon Evil takes the inside line and takes P7 away from Daniel Gardenzi. I think this is for position. It looks like both of these guys have pitted, but Daniel Gardenzi choosing to go slightly lower fuel, which I think has brought him into contention with Bon Evil. Bon Evil going for the medium tyres.
And that is a Timgren nearly losing the car there, and has just found himself losing a bunch of time to these front runners. But this is a double stop now. Double stop for the BCMR team, as the Timgren also dives into the pit. So all 3 front runners at the moment going for a pit stop. Let's see what tyres they all go for. And Ifin also into the pits now as well. So it's looking like lap 13 is the time to be pitting if you are on the soft compound.
Yeah, around then. But these guys have done a great job of keeping their tyres in the right window, keeping their I think they've overfueled slightly more than the rest of the guys, as Bon Evil is right behind Daniel Gardenzi. Daniel Gardenzi has obviously managed to get back past Bon Evil, and now Bon Evil's not willing to stay behind for any longer. You know, Bon Evil just seems to be racing in every league that she can get her hands on, because she's now in the Premier Series, the Super League.
And Websons absolutely lost the car, hit the wall, but luckily didn't pick up any damage and had to just swerve Bonnie there as to not make contact with her. So Websons have an absolute horrible race there. And someone's making a move on him, and it's Natty.
I think Websons lagged out.
Natty and Dan Schneider also getting past. Websons lagged out.
I don't know. I couldn't get a camera angle on him. He just seems to be all over the shop. He's not got damage, but I couldn't manage to get.
Yeah,
maybe
he just lost. I think he lost like 4 positions there. Bonnie Evil got back past Daniel Gardenzi, and Daniel Gardenzi also looking to come back at Bonnie now as well. But Bonnie's just looking really fast.
Oh,
really
that's Dan Schneider, sorry, getting past Natty, as Natty got onto the gravel there and a little bit wide, and this track is just so unforgiving, and it's a little bit kind of like Monza and some of those other tracks where it's one of those old school tracks where if you do run wide, there's no kind of massive runoff areas, as where you'd have somewhere like not Spain, sorry, I meant France, and Paul Ricard, where there's those massive runoff areas. You can kind of get away with going wide, but sorry, that is Daniel Gardenzi looking back for the move on Bon Evil, and this is really hurting Bon Evil's race, as this is not really what she wants to be fighting. I don't think this is really for position, and I think Daniel Gardenzi will be dropping further back, as he's got much less fuel than Bon Evil and is on the soft tyres, so will definitely be coming into the pits before them. But yeah, Timgren has come out about 2 seconds ahead of Bon Evil, so that gap has come down, because Timgren was, I'm sure, much further ahead of Bon Evil before the pit stop, so lost a bit of time there, maybe, has a Timgren. But Dutchy is now up in P3. How has he done that? How are Dutchy's tyres? Dutchy, he's on the mediums, but he's got a lot less fuel than kind of Tiger and Toussaint, so maybe he's wanted to go shorter on this strategy. I'm not really sure. I think he's still gonna be able to make a comeback. It's Dutchy. He's gonna be able to kind of get in the top 5, I would assume, but I think he'll probably lose the position to a Timgren, having much less fuel. But his tyre management is a bit like Toussaint's. He's just an absolute god at it. Toussaint still leading the way, but Tiger managing to stay very close. I think this is the closest we've seen the two BCMR brothers on track together, as normally it's kind of Toussaint pulling away, isn't it, at the front of the field. And only the second, if Toussaint does go on to win this race, it'll be the only second non-Dutchy win of the season. And he does currently have the fastest lap with a 1:19.0. Dutchy coming through here. The battle's going on track, very close between kind of 5th place there all the way down to P8. And Natty been able to catch back up to his teammate Bon Evil there. I think that was Dan Schneider and Daniel Gardenzi getting very close as Dan Schneider makes another beautiful overtake, sending it down the inside in the last sector. And he's having a great race here. Dan Schneider, definitely my driver of the day so far, having a really great race.
What a brilliant race Dan Schneider is having. We saw a really good couple of overtakes there. Saw his Jetsy drifting it around that last corner. Yeah, back to Dan Schneider, what a brilliant race he's having. Probably the strongest performance I've seen him put in this car. He's usually finding himself around P5 to sometimes the rear end of the points as well, really, but today he's just looking absolutely on fire, man, making these moves stick, getting past really large names in this league like Bonnie Evil. Yeah, so credit to Dan Schneider. Hopefully he watches the stream and sees us talking about him for once. But yeah, Dan Schneider, the man.
And Casteng was well saying in the chat, he had a great race as well in the Super League, and he managed to grab P8 in the race around Austria as well in the Super League, which was, I believe, yesterday, was it? I think it was yesterday. I'm sure it was yesterday. And yeah, he's been doing great so far in this championship. I mean, he's not been doing too great in this championship so far, but really stepped up his game recently. And that was Bon Evil getting very close to the rear of Daniel Gardenzi. Daniel Gardenzi runs a little bit wide, and that's going to really put him under pressure from Bon Evil, but he actually dives it into the pit lane, I believe, having lower fuel, and so does Dutchy. So those guys are going to be taken out of this battle here, as Natty is getting very close to his teammate here, and they're both on the medium tyre. Bonnie were getting a little bit wayward on the rear there. That actually promotes Dan Schneider into P4, so this would be, it wouldn't actually be his best finish, because last weekend he had a P3. So I mean, he's still doing great, but it's just the consistency that's shocked me, because so far this season he's been a bit further down, but he's really stepped it up. And if you do want to go and watch him in the Super League, I'm sure that will be on YouTube in the next couple of days, as Tim going getting a little bit squirmy on the rear there.
If you do decide to watch the Super League race Ben was talking about, you may as well go and watch the Canada GP on our weekend league, as it was a really good race, and Ben and I found ourselves in P2 and P3, so double podium finish for our team in our Gavra league. But yeah, if you're feeling like you want to watch that really good race by both of us, so yeah, definitely recommend. But let's move up to the front now, as there is a really brewing battle happening between the BCMR team, Toussaint and Tiger. So let's see if there's any team orders at play here, or if Tiger just wants to absolutely send it on his teammate. But yeah, that's still 25 minutes of this race remaining, so it's really anyone's race to anyone's game at this moment in time, and there are a few pit stops as well, so that might be another determining factor of our race winner today.
Yeah, still a long way to go, but Rick Holt's saying that the Dan Schneider was, I assume it was Dan Schneider that you mean, but he wasn't happy in Austria, and I'm not quite sure why. If you mean the Premier League, then I know why, because there was a few incidents in that league. But if you're talking about the Super League, I didn't manage to catch the whole race, so I'm not quite sure what you mean by that one. Austria was a race to forget Pierre. I'm not quite sure if you mean the Premier or the Super, because I know that the Premier wasn't the best race. I mean, there was some great battles, don't get me wrong, but there was a few incidents in that race. But I didn't manage to catch the whole of that race. He was talking about the Super League. Oh, okay, I'll definitely have to go and watch that race then. And Tiger staying very close to Toussaint now. I think this is the closest he's actually been, and that Aston Martin looking very quick in the straight line.
Tiger's just planning his attack right now. He is planning this move. It's been in the works for a good few laps here, and I think he has Toussaint realizing about this inevitable move that he could be making fairly soon. Toussaint is shaking at this moment in time. Really wants to take away the win, but either way, if Tiger gets it, the BCMR team is still getting all the same points at the end of the day. They just need to be happy that they were able to beat Dutchy, who is really not in contention at the moment, down in P9.
Ifin's come out the middle of nowhere and is now challenging Bon Evil now. He's going to look towards the inside of the corner, but decides that he might make contact there, but Bon Evil actually runs out a bit wide, and that's going to allow Ifin to have a look around the outside here, getting right on the edge of the curb there, and trying to hold his foot in around the outside, but just can't manage to make the move there. Is he going to keep behind him onto the straight as they go through the last chicane here? Ifin staying
was it
very
just
close.
Me? Was it just me, or did you think Bonnie left him no room there, or was she just taking the racing line?
I think that was fair racing. I think there was a little bit of pushing and shoving, but we don't have that in racing.
Anyway, enough of that. Back to the action. Sorry,
gap.
as Ifin gets really outbroken there by Bonnie Evil and looks for the switchback, but unable to find it at this moment in time, but still just sitting behind, really enjoying the slipstream as Bonnie's gone out a little bit wide, and Ifin's really desperate to get past as now they go back to wheels. Ifin has his nose ahead into this corner, make a bit of contact as Bonnie forces him slightly wide as someone's gone onto the grass and grabbed what's Bonnie, and but not losing too much time as Ifin having to settle for sip at this moment in time, coming under pressure from Natty. Sorry.
Is this Bonnie trying to push Ifin back into Natty here? I know that they are teammates, but I'm not sure if that was her intention or whether
he's stuck in a forget-me-not racing sandwich right now, isn't he?
He definitely is. But Ifin's on the super soft tyres, and he's on a much lower fuel, so he really does need to make this position out, as it's losing him a lot of time in this race. But then again, Bon Evil is kind of losing time to Natty if she's fighting this too hard. And she's got a big gap to Dan Schneider. It was actually about 2.9 seconds. It's not the biggest gap, and Dan Schneider is on the soft tyres, so it's hurting Bon Evil's race a bit here, fighting too much with Ifin, as Ifin is just trying every which way to try and get past, but not being able to make the move just yet. I think the push should be allowed with these cars. The speed's a lot slower than F1. It's got to be.
Ifin now he's going for the move. He's really going for it, but getting squeezed out again by Bonnie. So Bonnie is really bringing out the elbows, but Ifin has taken a really nice line through that corner, but still unable to find a way past Bonnie Evil. No matter what he does, using every inch of track. Tries to go late on the brakes, but still unable to get past us. Ifin is struggling as his tyres are degrading rapidly, so he's really caught up in this sandwich at the moment, and I don't think there is a lot he can do other than play Bonnie's game.
But I think Bon Evil, she does kind of push the drivers out, but I think it's like what Rick Holt and Castengel have been saying in the chat, that it's more allowed on this game, just because like you can kind of bump draft the cars ahead. If you make a bit of contact, it's not the end of the world. It's more if you hit the barriers that I think is the worst bit, because they all break at such similar points on this game. I think the lockups are a bit more of a thing on this game and how late you can break, but Ifin's trying the switchback. Oh, and that would have been a really nice move. If he can manage to keep his foot in here, that would be a lovely move, as he's managed to keep it around the inside here. He's managed to keep that line, and is he now going to be able to keep it in? It's very, very close. A little bit of contact. Bon Evil goes a bit wide there and onto the grass, and being served with their own taste of medicine there has got pushed out a little bit wide, but I think that was pretty fair. I want to say it wasn't
That
the
was
best
a
camera
really,
angle,
really
but
smart move by Ivan there. I've just realised
Yeah.
that he was assessing how she was driving and taking that first corner. So when he came up to her with the slipstream on the straight, he knew when she'd be turning in, so he could brake earlier, get the cut back, ultimately put himself up into 5th. So what a really good move by Ivan there. I've got to give him credit for that one. That was a really good overtake again.
But now, I haven't really not been too much action going on at the front. It's quite close now between Toussaint and Tiger. Literally 3/10 separate them. But then, from Tiger down to a Timgren, there's an 11-second gap. It's almost like the two BCMR brothers have merged together and formed a duchy, and they're just using each other's slipstream to gain a massive advantage over a Timgren and then Dan Schneider.
Speaking of Duchy pulling out to the right-hand side of Holland Campion, and Holland does not fight the champion at all, and Duchy puts himself up into 7th, so absolutely breezed past Holland Campion there. But yeah, we're seeing some really good racing around this track, I must say. I've never heard of this track before, but it's making for probably some of the best overtakes of the league that we've seen so far, really.
Yeah, we've seen some great mistakes, and actually a small amount of overtake. A small amount of mistakes, as Oriel. Oh, I thought he was going to dive it into the pit lane there, but decides to stay out. Webson's actually dropped down to P14 now, as he's got damage on the rear, so we weren't able to see that, but it's unfortunate for the replacement driver and not great for Duchy's team, which is the Interodata Racing. I feel like that's such an Australian name, like Interodata Racing, but no, it's not going to be great for them, as they're the closest ones to the BCMR team. And obviously Duchy's been kind of pulling their team forward so far this season. Is Webson's pulling over on the side of the track just to let his teammate through there, I think. But it's not going to be a great amount of points for that team so far this race. It's going to be unfortunate for them, as Duchy's not had one of his best races so far, but he has managed to pull his car up to P5 for the moment. But is going to have to pit in the next kind of 5 laps or so. Maybe look at his fuel, is quite low actually. I was just looking at his tyres, and he's not done too badly on his tyre wear so far. And speaking of tyre wear, Toussaint has managed to once again keep his tyres in an insane window. And I don't know if anyone in the chat can tell me, but I'm not I don't know too much about this game. But I do know that the Aston Martin's very quick in a straight line compared to the rest of the cars in Group 3. But Toussaint has managed to keep his tyres way better than Tiger, and I wonder if it's because he's in the BMW, whether the tyre wears less. So I don't know if someone can tell me whether the BMW just has less tyre wear, or whether Toussaint is just an absolute god at keeping his tyres in the right window. But a Timgren pits then from P3.
We have Cryptek getting lapped, so really unheard of by a driver of Cryptek's caliber. So really wouldn't have expected that. Clearly, either two things I can think of, really: not enough practice, or got tangled up in that contact earlier and obtained some damage, and obviously that damage is costing him. But we've seen Duchy pull off a
but Cryptek goes very wide, and that allows Dan Schneider to go free. He's off on the gravel, and as you were saying, he's lost it again. And that is so unfortunate for Cryptek. Well, yeah, I mean, he was saying it in the chat before the race, but yeah, very unfortunate for him there and the Coca-Cola Racing team. And yeah, saying
now
that
all
the
their
BMW's
hopes
the
fall
best.
on the German driver Ivan.
Yeah.
But he's coming under massive pressure from Duchy behind. Duchy is all over the back of him, and it's a similar situation for a few weeks earlier when Dutchy was on the back of iFin as well. I would be absolutely trembling right now if I had Dutchy right behind me in my slipstream, as Dutchy's already looking for the move, and he's got his foot in already for iFin defends there. But the momentum that Dutchy's carried, this move is pretty much set in stone. Oh wait, yeah, iFin pitted, I didn't even see that. But Dutchy probably would have got past him anyway. So Dutchy makes up the move on iFin and goes P3. So let's see if he can close the gap to the BCMR brothers. He's got 14 minutes.
Look at his fuel, he's going to have to
but so will the other two, won't they?
Yeah,
both in the medium tires.
Oh yeah, and Toussaint and Tiger definitely going to have to pit fairly soon, as they've actually just lapped Daniel Gardensi. So these guys have got some insane pace. Look at them now, they pulled a 20-second gap to anyone else. That's just incredible. These guys are so quick. But yeah, as the Pierre was saying that the BMW is the best car, which it's kind of clear, because Dutchy is doing great in this car and Toussaint's doing great in this car, but I think that the Aston Martin was quick in the straight. I was watching Super GT and he was saying how good the Aston Martin was in the straight line. That's like the only reason I know, but both of the BCMR team pitting at this point and going for the exact same strategy. I think they're just working together to get the most points, and I think Dutchy will most likely be pulling into the pit lane as well. Is there any other battles going on track? It's gone a bit quiet in the midfield.
It has, isn't it? The closest one I can see so far, sorry, is that's Oriole completely off. Absolutely lost the car there and was lucky to escape that with no damage as he hits into the wall again. Yeah, that's cost him a lot of time, but back to if there's any battles on track, the closest I can see is Holland, Campion and Natty, I believe.
Holland and Natty, I think.
Wait, is Oriole hitting into the wall? Because on my screen he's just absolutely just hitting into the walls everywhere.
He went quite wide there, he did.
I can't tell if the game's glitching or not.
He seems to be doing okay for me. He's taking it through.
Maybe he didn't hit the wall then, but it showed it on my screen.
Doesn't seem like he has any damage. He's going to have to pit.
Or was iFin super late on the brakes looking to get past Dutchy, but wasn't able to make that work as Dutchy went way later on the brakes and swung it in for the outside line as Dutchy stays in 6th, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, iFin's just pitted for the super softs, and so is Dutchy, to be fair. He just pitted. iFin's gone slightly higher on the fuel, so should be able to go longer on those tyres. Hello to Giovanno. Oh my god, I can't. I'm trying to pronounce it right. Is it Giovanno Cameron? I think. Hello, welcome. And Aston is faster on acceleration. Yeah, it spins the tyres more in lower gears. I'm not quite sure why kind of Natty has picked the Mercedes. I don't think it's a very good car in this group. And he's currently in P8, but he hasn't had too many great races so far, and it looks like he's really struggling all the time when I go on and watch him. Just on getting traction on the rear, and I don't know if it's his car or whether he doesn't like the Group 3 cars. I'm not quite sure. Runs a little bit wide there onto the grass, not going to cost him too much time. He's got Holland Campion right behind him though, and so I think there's a battle. It looked like there was a battle going on there. I think it was just Cryptek letting some of the faster guys go through with blue flags. Timgren also in the Mercedes. Yeah, but Timgren's managed to do well. He doesn't look like he's kind of losing the rear on it as much. He looks like he's got a very smooth driving style. He almost looks like a Verstappen in the way that he's driving. As I say, that does lose the rear a little bit. I guess I'm just used to watching the F1 cars. Everything else seems slow, but yeah. Anyway, there's 8 temps now between the top 2 guys. Toussaint managing to pull a little bit of a gap to Tiger, as these guys still staying quite close together, but has managed to pull a slightly more gap than he has at other points in the race so far. With only 10 minutes to go, still fairly close between some of the top guys, as Dutchy now is gained on Dan Schneider, and Dutchy is very close behind Dan Schneider. I think Dan Schneider is starting to feel the pressure a little bit here, as he's got the champion at the current champion all over his rear of his Aston Martin here, and I think Dutchy is going to look for the move as he pulls out to the inside, flashing his lights, and it looks like it's a fairly done deal here, And nice move from him late on the brakes and makes up that position. He's also got Eifin behind him, Dan Schneider. He's going to want to be careful he doesn't lose too many positions here, as Eifin is on the super soft tyres. And Bon Evil dropped back massively from this fight now, actually. Natty is in P8, and he's going to have Colin Campion looking for a move down the inside in the Flying Campions team. But Natty drifts out a bit wide there, not being able to get on the traction. Like I said, just looks like he's always struggling on the traction. And Holland Campion going to try and hold it around the outside. Be a great move if he can make this, and he's going to try and keep it.
Dan Schneider and Eifin are battling, as Dan Schneider had to give Eifin the way there and got forced onto the curb and a bit of the gravel as well.
Bon Evil, I think, gone off a bit there. No, has she? I think
yeah,
she
Bonnie looked like she was struggling as well.
Yeah,
I saw her like
she
fighting with the car. Yes, looks really car looks really upset at the moment, really unstable.
Natty and Holland Campion are still fighting, and Holland Campion is so close behind him. He's almost pushing him through the last sector as they go through the final chicane now, or about to. And Holland Campion's probably going to have a great run on the straight with that Aston Martin having great straight line speed. Is he going to be able to look for the move? He's definitely going to have a look going into turn 1. Going to try and go round the outside. Not seen too many people look around the outside there, but Natty not leaving him any room to go down the inside. And he's just going to have to lay off there. But look, again, Natty's rear is just sliding out. I don't know if it's a glitch on my screen, but it always just looks like he's drifting it through the corners. And look, he goes very wide there.
Yeah, I must say, taking that...
Holland Campion going to try and switch it back and look towards the inside. This is a very close battle here. And, yeah, just having to stay behind for now is Holland Campion.
Yeah, I must say, taking that outside line going into turn 1, it never seems like the best line to be on, as the drive on the inside will probably just break way later, leave you no room to turn in, and so they keep that position. So the ideal line to make a move into turn 1, I presume, would be the inside, because then you can control the corner basically. So had who was it? It was Holland Campion. Had he been on the inside, he probably would have had a better chance of making that move stick. But that being said, he's still directly behind Natty, and I think he's looking for a move on him. Just pulled out of his slipstream. Has the speed? Actually, he doesn't really. He had to jump back into the slipstream just for him to pull him along, get a bit of a toe on the straight there, but wasn't able to make a move on that occasion into that corner.
Oh, but Holland Campion is going to look for the move down the inside. Yeah, Natty's glitching all over my screen. I think that's just what it was. Yeah, he is on mine
as well.
Might just be his connection there, so that might be why it looks like he's always kind of losing the rear for me. But yeah, it's just very close between those two. I think that must be quite frustrating for him. But yeah, Pierre's saying that it'd be great if Dutchy is able to get on the podium. Now he's currently 2.6 seconds away from a Timgren, but he's on. Is he on fresher tyres?
And this is Jetsy looking for a move on Oriole, as Jetsy already ahead on the straight before the braking zone, has the inside line like I was just talking about. But doesn't even really need to defend against Oriole, as he was super late on the brakes, and we can see what I said about having the inside line controlling that corner will allow you to just stay ahead, and he keeps P11. Oriole looking to go around the outside but not able to do that. Looked to the inside as well, but didn't have the capability to go that late on the brakes, especially through there, so had to back off, and that's just allowed Jetsy to stay in P11. Only 5 minutes of the race remaining, and Two Saints still leading, but this gap has come down from 7 tenths, and I just saw it at 4 tenths. So maybe we may see like a last lap overtake. We've seen that quite a few times over the past few Fridays.
Quite close to Jetsy, but yeah, Rick Holt and Pierrick having a debate about who's going to get pole position. Now I'm going to make a huge prediction here and say that I think Bottas is going to get pole position. I think he's going to come with it this year. I think he's going to be really, really quick.
He's looking fast,
he had some signs of good pace last season, but I think Hamilton just didn't look like he was in control of his car. I mean, Bottas was saying it was undrivables, but actually Oriol and Jetsi are going wheel to wheel here in the GT Sport League, and this is happening as Jetsi keeps it round the inside. I think he was already ahead, so it was Oriol looking for the move, and again tried around the outside but didn't quite work out for him. Very close between these guys here as Oriol tried to keep his splitter in front of Jetsi's but didn't manage to get the move done there. But yeah, I think saying that Norris in the top 3, I don't think Norris is going to get in the top 3. I think it could be...
I'm seeing Norris
Verstappen
P5
definitely
really.
on the top. If Verstappen isn't first
Verstappen
or second,
pole.
or do you think
Perez
Verstappen pole?
fourth.
Oh, I don't know. I think Mercedes is
pole.
still going to be
And
right
then
up
Mercedes, and then I'm thinking maybe the McLarens, and then the Aston Martins, and then the Alpines, and then I'm thinking obviously you've got like the bottom midfield teams, so
Alpine
like you've got your Williams and. You've got your Williams, and then I think
Dutchy has managed to get past a Tim Graham. We haven't seen it, but oh my god, Dutchy has made the recovery drive of the century, and he's managed to get up into P3. How has he managed to done that? He's done the absolute impossible here and managed to take a podium position. If he was like down in P12 on the first lap or something, that's incredible. I have no idea how he's managed to do that, but now he's coming under pressure from a Tingren. The Tingren's having none of it, and he's going to try and go around the outside, but Dutchy under the brakes is just superior and managed to keep the position. But a Tingren's going to stay right behind him here as Eifin is actually getting involved in this battle. And as we were talking about F1, this race is absolutely not over. With 3 minutes to go, it's so close between 3 all the way down to P5 here, and it's just anyone's bet who is going to take P3 here. As Eifin is on the super soft tyres, they're all about the same fuel. They're definitely going to be able to get to the end of the race. Tiger and Toussaint about 5 tenths the gap between those guys at the front, not looking like, unless Toussaint makes a mistake, that Toussaint could definitely take the win here for the BCMR team. Great race for those guys, but yeah, still battle going on between Dutchy and Timgren. Timgren staying very close between him. I think it's going to be like, if he can stay behind on the last lap, they keep switching positions and someone gets it on the last lap, we're going to probably get this lap and then one more lap afterwards, I believe. They're not very long laps around here, so maybe it won't be 3 laps, I don't think, but
yeah, and that's Natty getting it completely wrong.
But
losing a bunch of time.
What, Natty, sorry?
Yeah, Natty losing a bunch of time. The rear was
down in P9. And another commentator's curse that I said how well they were doing at the start of the race, up in P4 and 5, and just not been able to keep that pace. Unfortunate for those guys. Dropped down Bonneville in P7 and then Natty in P9. But yeah, it's still very close between the top guys here. Dan Schneider had a great race, and like I said, definitely my driver of the day, making some great overtakes on this track. And Bonnie were going very wide.
I'd vouch for him as well. Definitely Dan Schneider for driver of the day.
Or Dutchy, or Dutchy.
Yeah, or Dutchy as well, or Dutchy. But anyway, you were talking about it's anyone's game for P3, but even P1, with only 7 tenths between them, it's still anyone's game. Maybe Toussaint puts a foot wrong or something, but he's saying that he's been so calm and collected this whole race to defend Tiger. But look at the gap now; it's nearly 3 tenths. So it's just come down from 8 to was 3, back up to 5 now. So it's super close between these two.
This will be the last lap.
Definitely know one of these BCMR cars will be taking the pole position of this race. But
pole position.
Which one will it be? First position.
But yeah, Tiger's staying very, very close between him now. I think now he's putting the works on him and trying to make the move on Toussaint. But I think Toussaint is going to be able to keep P1. And it's been a great race for Toussaint here. Second race win if he's able to keep the position to his teammate. And yeah, another great race for him. But Pierrick's saying that if he didn't spin, imagine if he didn't spin, but I think that Toussaint still would have won that race because they've worked together so well, pulled a 20-second gap over
Oh,
absolutely
what
anyone.
was is Ifin just got past the Tim
He
Graham there, and
did.
Ifin puts his car. Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
That's what
He
I was
did. Yeah,
saying. Yeah,
yeah. He
I managed to
puts
get into
himself up
P4.
into P4. Yeah,
Very good
I
from
totally missed
Ifin
that.
there, and actually managed to grab the fastest lap as well. But Toussaint takes the win. Incredible scenes there. Only the second non-Dutchy win of the season. And Tiger manages to grab P2, so a perfect weekend for the BCMR brothers there. And Dutchy
That
takes
is
P3.
Toussaint's second. That's Toussaint's second win, I believe,
It is,
in
yeah.
this season. So looking like a really, really
Dutchy
strong,
drifts it over the
strong
line.
driver.
And hits
All these
Ifin
cars
over the line.
drifting it over the driver.
But yeah, Dan Schneider grabbing P6. A great race for him and his team. Not had too many great points so far, but yeah, absolutely impeccable race from him. Bon Evil not having the best of races, but nevertheless, she did have damage there at the end, actually.
Holland
Didn't see
campion
that
next
happen.
across the line. P8 picks up a few points there, also drifts it across the line there, but that is the grid, and what a phenomenal drive by the BCMR team. Really well coordinated and completely had the pit stop strategies down, and has resulted in a win. So congrats to both of those drivers and everyone else for the overtakes today. It was a really good race.
Incredible from Toussaint. They actually started, I think it said there that he'd gained 4 positions, so he must have started in P5. So yeah, it's Toussaint who takes the win. Tiger in second, Dutchy in third. A great recovery from him. Ifin grabbing 4th position, and he actually didn't have a great qualifying, so another great recovery from him. And Timgren unfortunately just dropping down a bit at the end of that race. Dan Schneider having a great race. Bon Evil taking 7th place. Holland Campion in 8th. Natty in 9th, Daniel Gardenzi taking P10, Oriole in 11th, Jetsy in 10th, Cryptek in 13th, and the replacement driver for Tobster, Webson's taking P14 and rounding off the grid. And yeah, it's been another great race there actually for the GT Sport League. And yeah, we hope to see, we've got the Weekend League, which is our next championship on Sunday, which
Sunday,
me and
50% race.
yeah, around Belgium, Spa. So it should be a great race. It's a reverse grid, so no qualifying for that one. But myself and Isaac will both be racing in that one, so definitely make sure you tune in for that one, and then we'll be back
So anyway,
for the
guys,
academy.
thank you for joining us, and hopefully we can see you.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much for tuning in, everyone. Hope you
Thank
enjoyed the
you.
great racing, and yeah, make sure that you tune in for the rest of the Gavra streams for the next week. And yeah, thank you very much, guys. Take care.